I think a great deal of love for music had started for me would have been in elementary school. I remember Miss Shereenan, our music teacher. She played for us the orchestral piece Peter and the Wolf, you know, on a little record player, one of those little portable record players, plastic, looked like it was made by Fisher Price or something like that. But there it was, and she played that for us, and somehow that kind of it spoke to me in a way of hearing the French horn and hearing the bassoon, you know, when there was danger and this kind of thing, and the element of the music piece, and somehow I understood it. It was like a language, you know. It was like a language, and I was able to extrapolate many different things from that music piece. And as the years progressed, and as I worked and even heard more music, I was able to get more information, and I was able to understand the information and use that to my ability as a songwriter, a music producer, what have you.
I was born in 1960, so growing up on the east coast of Canada, I was inundated with the themes from Mr. Dressup, Friendly Giant, Sesame Street, on and on and on. And I was always fascinated how a very short piece of music, anywhere from 30 seconds, let's say, to a minute and a half, could really define who the characters were as well as the world that they lived in. And that's why doing this now is so rewarding and such a fun challenge.
I grew up in Lower Sackville, and I used to play in the school band as a trumpet player. That would have been my first instrument I laid my fingers on. And it wasn't until later on in junior high and high school where I started to develop a taste for guitar, playing electric guitar, and some percussion instruments as well.
The first time I met Blair was on the set of Throw It Away. That was a music video I produced for Lori Little. And Blair was going to play the lead, a husband. The couple was splitting up. And I think he literally brought a trunk load of clothes, of wardrobe options. So that told me a couple of things. He realized how little details could help define a character and change the tone. And just anyone who is that prepared or understands how those little things can create pretty significant change or improvement, when you're working with somebody like that, it's always a positive experience.
I worked 16 years in the entertainment industry as a set decorator, camera support work I've done, post-production teardown, construction on sets. I worked on everything from the movie K-19 to the Trailer Park Boys, everything in between.
There's a few things that Blair's really good at that make him a very good partner. And one of them is, I might do something by myself, but I'll play it back for him. And I'll say, I like it, it works, it's a pretty strong piece, but there's something about that trumpet that it's just not working. It's just not sitting in there right. What kind of trumpet should I use? And he'll listen to it and he'll go, you need a French horn. Okay. So I'll dump the trumpet and bingo. So where I have a pretty big background working with bands, like 4 or 5 piece bands with guitars, bass, keyboard, drums, that sort of thing, Blair is more familiar with the orchestral setups. He's also kind of unconventional in that he will suggest a chord which to me at first blush makes no sense. But the thing is, we all carry musical baggage, things we like, things we're influenced by, things we've recorded before that sounded nice, and I think too often we're quick to kind of latch onto something that worked before without really experimenting. So he'll come out with a chord that to me makes no sense at first blush, but we'll drop it in, and more times than not it works. So it's very useful to have somebody who's not you, who doesn't think like you, who doesn't have your musical baggage, who won't fall into the same melodic traps that you might. That's very valuable, to have something that you not only would not have thought of, but could not have thought of because of how you think musically.
He's a brilliant songwriter, but he smells like a dead person.
Thank you very much. I smell nicer things at a crime scene. Oh shit! I have no doubt that Blair would describe the last decade of his life as I would mine, which is difficult. Health issues, employment issues, so on. There was a time he had a very bad living situation, so fortunately I could let him stay at my place for a month or so. And there was times I was strapped for cash even after getting back to work, and Blair, can you lend me $50? I haven't eaten in a day and a half. And that was true. And fortunately, he brought some money over and I ate and I lived.
Scott and I, we have this idea, okay, well, we're going to produce a Western theme song. So anyway, we're going to say, okay, well, geez, you know, you hear like a instrument like the French horn, or the flugel, or something like that. So we correlate what instruments are going to be used, and on that basis, we think about a melody. You know, a melody might come to our mind when we start playing on the keyboard a little bit and figuring out, you know, what it is that we're trying to achieve. Another way is we're all influenced by other musicians, composers, actors, this sort of thing. So we can all draw on that long list of catalog, if you will, of materials and things that are etched into our mind, incorporated. You know, like you almost borrow, you know, and we should do that because that's how we learn. That's how we learn to use the tools that are available to us, and to be explorative, you know, with that type of medium.
I call Blair the riff master because a lot of times he just has these little musical phrases in his mind, such as this one. Which that day, that night, probably over a 4-hour span, we turned into this.
Scott indicated that I was a riff master of sorts. Well, I have to chuckle a little bit at myself over that, but I suppose there's some... There's definitely pooper reel.
Hello!
Hello! I'm 53 and Scott's 64, and I think as you get older your age gets bigger, but the number of your friends gets smaller. As far as I'm concerned, all you need is a couple of friends with integrity and a good heart. That's more than enough. And when the day comes that we license our first theme, that will be a well-earned celebration. A celebration of hard work, of chasing a dream, of putting one's foot in front of the other and simply never giving up. It will be a memorable event for our individual life stories and our collective story as co-writers, co-producers, and friends.